Birth tourism has long been an issue in Canada, and this bill leaves the door open to the practice continuing long into the future. In fact, it would encourage it. For those that don't know, birth tourism is the practice of traveling to another country for the purpose of giving birth there. This is generally done to obtain citizenship for the child, taking advantage of our birthright citizenship laws. In Canada, there are 3 pathways to citizenship. The first is known as jus sanguinis, or right of blood, in other words, being born to a Canadian parent. The second is naturalization, the process of immigrating, obtaining permanent residency, and eventually citizenship, as my previous colleague alluded to. The third is jus soli, or right of soil, in other words, being born on Canadian soil. A 2023 article in the National Post discussed jus soli, highlighting how a single hospital in Richmond, BC had 502 non-resident births in 2019. Across Canada, 4,400 non-resident births took place in 2019, more than triple the number in 2010. In 2023, the first baby born in Vancouver was born to a birth tourist. The mother even told local reporters she had made her first ever trip to Canada specifically to secure a Canadian passport for her daughter. A 2020 CBC article titled "All About the Money: How Women Traveling to Canada to Give Birth Could Strain the Healthcare System" highlighted that Canada is in a small minority of fewer than 36 countries who grant citizenship based on birthplace, regardless of parents' nationality or status. It noted that a high concentration of non-resident patients giving birth in Canada has led to compromised care for local mothers-to-be and nursing staff. Another article in 2023 noted that while air travel restrictions during the pandemic slowed down the trend, numbers have started to increase again right now. It highlighted that of 102 non-resident women who were surveyed after giving birth in Canada between July 2019 and November 2020, 77% cited birthright citizenship as their primary reason for giving birth in Canada. It is very clear that this pathway to citizenship is being abused, and this program will only see the numbers increase as the Liberals reduce security checks for visitor visas as well. Therefore, thousands of children each year are born in Canada and leave with the full rights and privileges granted to any other Canadian. And should they choose to come back to Canada at any time in the future, they will have access to Canada's healthcare and generous social security benefits without the requirement to pay any taxes before they arrive. Right now, Canadians are paying more taxes while getting less. How is it fair to Canadian taxpayers? Even Liberals have recognized that this is a big issue and called for change. In 2018, the former Liberal MP for Steveston Richmond East, Joe Pescalito, tabled petition E1527, which called on the government to address birth tourism, citing its exploitation of Canada's generous public health care and social security system and violation of Canada's sense of fairness. I would be remiss if I didn't note that when the first generation limit was brought in 2019, Liberals even voted in favor of it at third reading in the House of Commons. How is it just that a birth tourism baby will be able to pass on citizenship to their grandchildren under this proposed law? That is the big question today. Citizenship will be passed on to the grandchildren of Canadians born here solely for the purposes of obtaining citizenship. For my constituents, that is not just.